Alright, boys. Ankalaev vs. Pereira 2 goes down this weekend, UFC 320. So I'm going to be giving you my predictions for these fights and also just talking about some of them a little in depth and my thoughts. So first fight of the night, boys. Veronica Hardy versus Brogan Walker. Banger fight right here, boys. This is definitely going to be a war between both of these fighters. I got Veronica Hardy by unanimous decision, but this fight is going to be a war. That's all I got to say. Next fight, Ramiz Brahimaj versus Austin Vanderford. I got Vanderford by unanimous decision. I thought he was going to lose to, he fought this guy in his debut, Nikolai Veretennikov. I thought he was going to lose that fight. He looked really good. He got the round 2 knockout. I don't think anyone expected that one. But he looked pretty good. Ramiz, not that great. He's a good grappler, but I think Austin Vanderford could counter that and get that round 2 knockout, boys. Next fight on the card, Punahele Soriano versus Nikolai Veretennikov. Your boy got Soriano, round 2 knockout. Soriano, pretty heavy puncher, just beat Medic. And like I said, Veretennikov, he lost to Vanderford. Was that his last fight that he lost? No, he beat Prado his last fight, but he lost to Vanderford before that. I just think Soriano's a better striker, so I think he'll catch him with that shot in round 2, boys. Now, Patchy Mix versus Jacob Wicklace. Patchy Mix was supposed to beat Mario Batista at UFC 316. I think it was O'Malley versus Dvalishvili 2. I was there. But he looked really stiff in that fight. Couldn't get the fight to his realm in the grappling. So he was trying to strike with Batista. He was just getting struck up and down, beat up. He looked good in some parts, but just an overall not good performance. So he's taking a step down in this one, going backtracking. He's fighting Jacob Wicklace. I searched him up. He's also a grappler. I'm pretty sure all his wins are by submission, and I don't care about his record, but all his wins are by submission. He's like a jiu-jitsu guy like Patchy Mix. So I think this is going to be a grappling match here. And I think Patchy Mix will get it done by round 2 submission, boys. Next fight we got the last fight of the early prelims. Macy Chiasson versus Yana Santos. Banga. Absolute banga, boys. Macy Chiasson, Yana Santos. I got Macy Chiasson by unanimous decision. I also think these ladies are going to go to war in this one. Chiasson, she beat Bueno Silva. She beat, Norma Dumont. But she just lost to Vieira. But she showed she could beat those top dogs. Yana Santos, I'm pretty sure lost to Holly Holm. That's never that good. Because, she lost when she was old. But yeah, she's Russian. That doesn't matter if you're a female. But yeah, Macy Chiasson, unanimous decision. Next up, boys, Daniel Santos versus Zhu Sang Yu. Now, I saw Zhu Sang Yu in New Jersey on 316 when he fought. He made his debut, He's the next Korean zombie. In your head, zombie. He had that whole walkout. I can probably throw up a little video right here. But he looked great in that. He threw one strike, I'm pretty sure, knocked the guy out. 30 seconds. Check left hook. Base planted him. Now Daniel Santos, he's like an aggressive type of guy. A little aggressive striker. He's always like in your face. So I think Zhu Sang Yu, he's a great counter striker from what I've seen. So I think Zhu Sang Yu, round 1 knockout. I know Santos never been knocked out, but I think Zhu Sang Yu's the guy to do it. Round 1 knockout. Santos is going to get aggressive with the striking. And I think Zhu Sang Yu could counter that and find that shot once again. Next fight on the card, boys. Chris Gutierrez versus Farid Basharat. Now I think Fareed Basharat, boys, is one of the locks on this card. Because we talking about 4-ounce MMA, the app, like I mentioned in my first ever video. The best MMA app out there. They let you put 3 locks on every card so you could score as max points if you get it right. Method, winner, round. I got Fareed Basharat by unanimous decision. His grappling is going to overwhelm Gutierrez. I also think he's a better striker. You know, Gutierrez is that type of leg kick, jab type of guy. Fight off the back foot, circle around. Just a slow fighter. But Basharat, you know, what is he? 13, 14-0. That grappling is relentless. So I think Basharat, unanimous decision. Lock, boys. That's what I'm going to start doing. I'm going to tell you who I think are the 3 locks on the card. Basharat, unanimous decision. Lock. Now, Edmund Shabazian versus Andre Muniz. Edmund Shabazian, you know, he's starting to make a little comeback. He just beat Andre Petrosky by UD. And before that, he beat Budka, round 1 knockout. You know, he's been looking good his past few fights. Now, Andre Muniz, let's check it out. Just lost to Ikram Alaskarov by knockout, but he beat the Iron Turtle Park by split decision before that. Got TKO'd by Paul Craig. That's all I had to see, boys. How do you get TKO'd by Paul Craig? Edmund Shabazian by round 2 knockout, boys. Now, the final fight on the prelims. Ateba Gautier was originally, at the beginning of this week, supposed to fight Ozzy Diaz. But Diaz pulled out this week, so they were scrambling, looking for an opponent. He's fighting a guy making his debut, Tristan Vines. No idea who this guy is. I did search him up. He has 3 losses, and they're all by round 1 knockout. Thank you for keeping Gautier on this card, Vines. Your sacrifice will always be remembered because you're getting knocked out in round 1. Lock. Ateba Gautier, round 1 knockout, lock. Now, the start of the main card. Abus Magomedov versus Joe Pyfer. Now, if I remember correctly, Joe Pyfer have been calling Abus out for so long. You know, Abus, pretty good. He just beat Michel Pereira. Before that, submitted Diego Ferreira, then beat Alves. Lost to Braulio and lost to Sean Strickland, but in his debut beat Stolfas. Now, losing to Strickland and Braulio, that does not mean you're a bad fighter. But if you ask me, if you get TKO'd by Sean Strickland, you're a bad fighter, and he did. How do you get TKO'd by Sean Strickland, the pillow puncher? Imagine what Joe Pyfer is going to do to him. Just beat Calvin Gastelum at 316. I saw that live. But he was very hesitant. Like, he would knock him down but wouldn't go for the finish. He would rock him but wouldn't go for the finish. He was just being too calm. We need to see that Marc-Andre Barriault performance versus Abus. Go all out, knock him out. Lost to Hermanson before that as well. But I got Joe Pyfer by round 2 knockout. I think he'll be able to blitz Abus's guard and just find that shot, you know. Pyfer got that rock in that right hand. Now, Josh Emmett versus Yusuf Zalal. Josh Emmett lost to Lerone Murphy in his last fight. And Yusuf Zalal just beat Calvin Kattar. So I think it's going to be the same exact thing that Lerone Murphy did to Emmett and how Yusuf Zalal beat Kattar. It's going to be the same exact fight. Yusuf Zalal is going to be jabbing on the outside, leg kicking, circling around, maybe mixing in some of that grappling. And Josh Emmett is just going to be loading up his right hand, spamming it like he always does, just trying to land that Hail Mary the whole fight. And he's not going to land that because I think Yusuf Zalal is too quick for that, too elusive. So I got Yusuf Zalal by unanimous decision. That's a lock as well, boys. Those are my 3 locks. Yusuf Zalal, lock by UD. Now, banger alert, boys. Jiri Prochazka versus Khalil Roundtree. Obviously, Jiri just knocked out Hill. Khalil just beat Hill by UD. But before that, who did Jiri fight? I think it was Rakic. He had just beat Hill. No, he lost to Pereira obviously before that, but he beat Rakic and then fought Pereira. And then Khalil obviously just beat Hill and lost to Pereira as well. But Khalil, he looked good versus Hill, but too calm. Like, he wasn't going for the kill. He would drop him, let him get up, then just strike with him, if you know what I mean. Like, he wasn't going for the finish in that fight. But Jiri, on the other hand, was trying to take Hill's head off every chance he got. Obviously, he finished Hill. I think he's going to beat Khalil Roundtree by round 2 knockout. That style is just too hard to figure out, man, if you're not Alex Pereira. No glaze, but it's true. He's the only one to have beat him. So I think Jiri's going to knock out Hill in round 2. First round's really going to be them feeling each other out. But I'm not counting Khalil out. This is a risky pick, if you might say, because either fighter here could win. I got Jiri round 2 knockout, but I honestly think it go either way. Now, boys, the co-main event of the evening, Merab Dvalishvili versus Corey Sandhagen for the bantamweight title. Now, Merab, the bantamweight GOAT, in my opinion, just beat Sean O'Malley at 316. Just beat my boy. Had to watch that live, unfortunately. But beat Umar. Beat O'Malley before that. This guy's running rough shop through this division. Beat Cejudo. Beat Peter Yan. Beat Jose Aldo. Do you hear these names I'm saying, man? Now, Corey Sandhagen just beat who? Davison Figueiredo. Just beat Figueiredo. He's on a little, 3-4 fight win streak? 5 fight win streak. So he lost to Yan, but then he beat Yadong. He beat Cheeto. He beat Rob Font. Then he lost, I'm tripping. He lost to Umar, and then he beat Figueiredo and got the title shot because there's no more bantamweight contenders. So he's getting fed to Merab. But I do think he can make it more competitive than O'Malley did last fight. Just because of he's a better grappler than O'Malley, and that's for sure. We seen that versus, who was it? I think Rob Font and Cheeto Vera. He was just a wrestler that fight. But unfortunately, I don't think he could keep up with that pace that Merab puts on all these fighters. You know, Merab has the same cardio in round 1 he does at the start at the start of round 5. Like, he's just always, you know what I'm talking about, Merab with the smiling, cracking you. I don't think any fighter could take that bantamweight. I do think Umar could beat him in a rematch, though. That's the fighter to beat Merab. But I don't think he'll finish Corey. I do think he's going to win unanimously by decision. Corey can make it interesting, though. We'll see. Now, for the main event of the evening, boys. Magomed Ankalaev versus Alex Pereira 2 for the light heavyweight title. Now, we all know how the first fight went. Magomed beat Pereira by decision. Very boring fight, I thought. But I thought Pereira in that fight was very hesitant. I don't know if it was from him getting rocked in the second round. He just didn't want to engage because he felt the power, if he was scared of the takedown. But it just didn't look like the Pereira I know, who was running roughshod through the division he fought in. Just knocking guys out and stuff, if you know what I mean. But I think he's going to be different this fight. Well, I'm going to give Magomed his props. Obviously, he dethroned Pereira, but I think Pereira's going to come out different this fight. Definitely on the front foot, which is scary because Magomed is a good counter striker. I'm scared Pereira might get knocked out in this one if he's too aggressive like he did versus Izzy. Just throwing caution to the wind and striking, trying to knock him out. But I think this is going to be a smart, very technical kickboxing Pereira who's not going to be backing up, but going forward this time. I think Alex Pereira is going to knock out Magomed Ankalaev in round 3. Signature left hook, boys. I think he's just going to be able to walk him down this fight, avoid Magomed's big shots, and return to that Pereira of old we've always knew. Obviously, there's that thought, Magomed could just fight the exact same, get the decision, win again, work in the clinch, counter striking, walking Pereira down. But my boy Pereira's not letting that one happen. Round 3 knockout. My boy Alex Pereira, y'all see the flag right there, getting this one done, getting his belt back. Then he's moving on up to heavyweight. That's my predictions for this card, boys. Hope y'all enjoyed. Leave a like, comment, subscribe. Let me know y'all predictions down below. And yeah, stay tuned for my reactions for this card. And for the next card after this, Oliveira vs. Gamrot. Should be a prediction video of that next week. But yeah, have a good one, boys. Peace.